today we're working on '07 Civic again, and this problem now we have is the car is overheating. So it could be many things, so I'm not going to get into all that because I'm trying to keep the video short. Mine was the actual cooling fans, they were not coming on, so that's causing the temperature of the engine to heat up. So if you have that problem, one quick easy way to diagnose this is go ahead and click on your AC button on the inside, turn your fan on. Those two fans should kick on. It's hard to see, but they should kick on with your AC on. Mine did with the AC on, but when the car was overheating, my engine fan, coolant fan was not coming on. So I knew the fan was good because they were coming on with AC. So that's a quick way to kind of diagnose if you got a bad fan or not. If the fan's not coming on with AC, probably start with just unclip the wiring harness for the fan, stick a meter in it, see if you got 12 volts there when it's calling for it to come on. Another quick thing may be your relay, so make sure that's not bad. And these are the parts you're going to need. It ended up being the engine coolant sensor, and there's two of these on this model. There's this one here is going to be your upper one right into the thermostat, and this one here is going to be your at the bottom of the radiator on the driver's side. Very hard to see or get to. There's a coolant, this piece right here is screwed into your radiator, and that's what's reading the temperature, telling the fans to come on. So I'm pretty sure this is the only one I needed, and I'm pretty sure this is the one that reads the temperature for your gauge on the inside, tells you your engine temperature. But I'm not 100% sure. It's hard to find information online, so I'm just telling you what I found with a lot of hours of research. This one on the bottom of the radiator, when it's hard to get to, more work. I believe that's the one that's going to turn your fan on and off when the temperature gets where it needs to turn it on. The other one I'm going to go ahead and change just because it's really easy to get to. So this is the top one here, that little dude right there, and they're really easy to get the wiring clip off. Don't use a screwdriver like me on most of them. I break the clips off. Honda has a pretty neat, just push in from the back like a clothespin, and you just lift up. So it's really easy to get off. So you just push it in. There's no clips to prop or anything. So that's your one sensor right there. And that one's really easy to change out, but you probably don't have that problem. But I think that's the one on the gauge on the inside. So that's that one. The one on the bottom radiator, we're gonna have to drain all the fluid out, refill the fluid out, and replace that sensor. You're gonna need a 17mm deep socket because the sensor has to go into the socket, so it has to be deep to allow the sensor to fit into it. So you're gonna need that and an extension, and I'll go underneath and kind of show you real quick. I'm trying to make this really short, but I'll show you kind of where the other sensor is, and I'll get that off in the drain for the radiator. Okay, under the car here, I'll put it up on ramps. It's a whole lot easier. Just make sure it's secure. Don't want any of y'all getting hurt. And there's clips. There's little round, you see the holes? That's where all the clips are. That's holding this plastic guard in. And this here, there's a hole already built in, so you don't even have to take it off. This is your radiator drain plug here. So you're just going to unscrew that. If it's really tight, you probably can't do it by hand. Just take a wrench and just kind of open it up so the fluid will drain through the hole. Make sure you got a pan underneath of it, or it's going to get really nasty quick. And your sensor's actually over on this side, but I'm going to go ahead and drain it first, and then we'll pull the cover off, and then we'll get to the sensor there. And I'll show you that. Okay, I got the coolant draining. Just use a pair of pliers or something. Just grab it. It was really easy to come off. Then you can twist it with your fingers and let it just drain into the pan there, as you can see. Put some rags down because it splatters really bad. So that just helps keep it from splattering all over the floor and everywhere else. So a couple other very important things that we forgot to go over. Make sure the engine is not hot. Make sure you didn't just drive it, because it could burn you. Hopefully you haven't already tried it, or you're burning right now. And also remove your radiator cap. So that just helps the air to get into fluid so it can drain better. So if you keep it on, it can kind of lock up the fluid inside. And I think that was it up here. And I just got my chart out, so you don't have to look, but you can if you want. This should be the same for 06 through 11 Civic, but we got the coolant, and change for automatic is 1.45 gallons, 5.5 liters, and for manual is 137 gallon, 5.2 liter. And if you got a SI, then that's the other option down there. But most of y'all probably got just the regular Civic. So it looks like about 1.5 gallons. But all I'm going to be a little bit different, depends on how much fluid you get out of the engine. So that's what we're going to be working on. As soon as this drains out, it's a really slow drain, so it'll take a while. Then we'll go ahead and take that sensor out. I'll kind of show you where it is. It's really hard to see though. I'll try to show you that and take off that plastic piece on the bottom. Okay guys, I'm back. The fluid has stopped draining. What I like to do is take some clean water and just slowly add it to your radiator opening and make sure it's clean. It's just kind of flush the radiator out a little bit and just kind of clean more of it out. So now you can see the water dripping down. And it just kind of shows you, I mean, you're cleaning out some of that radiator. You're not going to get it spotless, but I mean, you can tell it's definitely some dirty water in the radiator. So it's a good idea, or tip to do. And we'll go ahead and start taking the top sensor out while that's finishing. Alright guys, on the top sensor, I showed you earlier removing the clip on it. I like to clean around the area really good. You see that nut where it's going to come out, because that debris can fall into your thermostat housing there. So I just use a little bit of simple green, or get you some engine degreaser, spray it on, let it sit a little while, and do the best you can. I use some long needle nose pliers because I know it's really tight, and just keep working it down in there and clean up around it really good around the nut. Alright, you can see down now. Go ahead and break it loose. Once it's broke loose, you just take it off with your finger. Okay, there's your sensor right there. That's the one in the top. And you want to make sure that black O-ring, make sure that came off with it. If it didn't, then you need to take it out. But it looks like mine is gone. And your new one's going to come with that piece there. Where I got my auto parts, he said that there was 2 different sensors for the top and bottom. But I've heard that they're both the same. So just do your research on that. But I got 2 part numbers on mine. So different from top sensor and the bottom sensor on the radiator. So I'm going to get the new one and screwed in. And go ahead and tighten up your new one. And you got it the right direction. And just push it down. Pull up. Make sure you hear a click. And make sure it's securely in place. And that should be it for that sensor. Now we're going to go underneath and try to get the one out of the radiator. Okay guys, this is really hard to show you, but I got you need to move all the little clips from the bottom plastic piece. I pulled mine back out of the way, but most people say you got to take it out. If you want to take it out, you got to go up in the wheel wells. There's clips in there too, and the whole piece comes out. Probably would be easier so it's not beating you in the head the whole time. But I guess I'm hard-headed. And there's your drain plug. My advice would be go ahead and put that back in now while you're down here before you forget, because you'll start adding fluid and it'll run all on the floor. So with your plug there, just trying to show you, that is your bottom of your radiator, that is your sensor here. So you're going to push on the clip and pull it out like that. Same as the top deal. You need 17mm sensors right here. You can't hardly see it. Put it in a really bad spot, hard to get to, but you should be able to get your deep socket 17mm in there. Unscrew that one out. And then we're going to screw the new one back in there. Okay guys, I've had a time trying to get this sensor out of the bottom, so I'm going to give you some big tips here. Just ran up to the auto parts store. I cannot find a 17mm deep socket that will allow, see, get it stuck on the thing. You do not have room to get your ratchet on. I've tried from the top, bottom, I don't know, there must be different sizes, but my auto parts store also, this is the only size they had. So I'm just telling you what I did to get me out of this emergency. Took some vice grips and tightened it up on there, and took a hammer and smacked it while I was holding it just to get it loose. So now it's loosened where I can, enough where I can take it off with my hand, with my fingers. So that was really, really tough there. So I'm just letting you know that hopefully that'll help you out, because that was a real pain there. And I'm so glad it's off now. But though, this is the socket I got, and apparently this is a standard size deep well socket. All of them in auto parts stores same size. So I don't know what I should do. Maybe take a hacksaw and cut the thing. It's about 1 inch too long. So maybe you got some better ideas in the comments, but that got me out of this emergency. Thank God. So they were good. Now we're just going to screw in the new temperature sensor. Screw it back in the old spot. Make sure your gasket came off with the old one. It's really hard to see in there or do anything. So go ahead and tighten that, and then make sure your drain is closed again. That's very important, so when you start adding fluid, it doesn't run everywhere. And that should be it. Just screw that back in, and then I'll go ahead and show you the rest of it up top. Alright guys, go ahead and put your plastic piece back on the bottom, seal up everything, make sure your radiator, the valve is closed on the bottom, and you can go ahead and start adding your fluid. You want to use a premium Honda fluid. Most of them are blue, so I think you need to stick with the blue because of with the engine not being flushed out. So then you're going to be mixing blue with whatever other color. So you want to make sure it's certified for a Honda. And this is what I was telling you about down here. This is both of the two sensors. But the deep socket you're going to need, because it's got to be able to go inside the socket to get to the nut. Alright, this one is too short because it bottoms out, so it won't work. But this one was too long and it's hitting a piece of the frame down there. So if you guys got any better solutions, then please comment so other people will know also. But that's the best thing I could come up with. I took vice grips, clamped down on this socket here, and just tapped it with a hammer real quick just to break it loose. So I did finally get it off, so that's good. And there's a lot of praying going on down there. And ran to the auto parts store at 8 o'clock at night. Finally finishing up. It's a slow process filling it. It takes a while for the fluid to go down in the radiator. So I'm going to continue topping this off. And then we're going to go ahead and start the vehicle and let the fluid run down. Turn the heat on and go ahead and let it run to normal operating temperature. And then you have to top off the radiator again. Just keep an eye on it for the next few days. Alright guys, you also want to pull out your reservoir, dump it out, clean it up, and fill it up to the minimum. And then it basically just, you can pull it straight up out of behind the battery. It's a little tight, but you can get it out of there. But that's what you want to go ahead and fill that in, and then go ahead and place it back down in there where it was. Make sure your hose is connected like it was. Okay, you got your car started. You want to let it warm up, and then get your heater on. Let some of the coolant run down. Then you need to fill it, top it back off. All right, guys. After it's been running a while, you want to squeeze your radiator hose upper, and you can see the bubbles kind of coming out. You want to try to get all the air out of the lines there, so you don't have any air pockets. And once you top it off, you can go ahead and put your radiator cap back on and go ahead and drive it like normal. Get up to running temperature and everything. Bring it back, let it cool down for a long time, and then go ahead and take your top off and top off fluids if needed. That should wrap this project up. Hey guys, sorry. Forgot the main point of the video is to see if the coolant fans work now. And I got the new sensors in, started up, got it up to run temperature. Just kept stomping on the throttle to get it to heat up. Both fans kicked on like they should. So the sensor was bad on the bottom of the radiator. That switch that controls the two fans. So everything should be good now, no more overheating. That fixed my problem. I hope it helps you guys out. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe. Let me know if you got any questions or advice on that socket. Thanks.